Hey, you guys, this is Save Time with Tori, and I'm back with another video. Back in the parking lot as usual. It's actually kind of raining today. It's kind of dreary. I actually started not to do this video. I started to wait until tomorrow, but I know it's been a few days since I've done anything. I think the last thing I did was like Mother's Day, and it was like maybe like 3 or 4 days ago. But anyway, I got a video today for you guys, and I'm pretty sure like this is a an epidemic as well, but we're going to talk about if the mom doesn't like you. And this can go for like mother-in-laws or just regular boyfriend's mom, just basically whoever you're dating's mom, or whoever is raised him, took care of him, things like that. This can actually go for like grandmas and shit too, because sometimes you meet the mom and the grandma, and things like that. Basically, like, I guess you could say this video is like for like the important women in their lives. Pretty much that's where I'm going with that. So yeah, if the mom don't like you, so yeah. He could possibly be a mama's boy, grandma's boy, whatever boy you want to call it. Like, and those are, I mean, to be honest, those are like one of the hardest men to tame, because the mom has already kind of like set the standard. She's already, like, I guess you could say, broken this man, and kind of got him spoiled or used to a certain way of life. So and then when you come in, now you have to share. Basically, y'all got to share this man. Like, he still got to perform his husband. I mean, if you're married, or if you're not married, he still got to perform his, boyfriend duties. And then he still got to also be there for his mom, grandma, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to just say mom, because I ain't got time to name all these goddamn prefixes and shit. But anyway, the mama boys they're hard to break. Like, I've never seen it done, to be honestly. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, because nothing's impossible, in the world. But like, it'd be so much of a headache that you won't even like give a fuck after a certain point. I've actually witnessed this myself, not like recently, but you know, when I was back in my early 20s or whatever, I was dating this guy, and like, the mom just, like, she was just doing too much. Like, she always wanted him to come over and do this and do that, and like, he would kind of like stop what he's doing to like go see what the fuck going on over here. Like, too much going on. But anyway, like, from what I've experienced, and what I've seen, with other people, like, trying to turn a mama's boy into a not so mama's boy is like, it's probably not gonna work, to be honest with you. Even when she's dead or whatever, he's always gonna compare you to her. But if a man ain't already like independent and stuff on his own, then I would just leave it alone. To be honest, it's too big of a task, and it'll drain you. And then by the time you think you done fix the problem, you're no longer interested. Now you're just so drained and beat up from trying to get this man to treat you the same way he treat her. It's just, fuck it. But anyway, the mom is scared to let go. She's used to, like I said, him being around and being there at her every beck and call. And then now here you come, and now he's spending all this time with you and doing shit with you. And now she's sitting here like, who's gonna fix these goddamn pipes? Like, who's gonna mow this damn grass? Like, who's gonna woo woo woo, and bring me, rotisserie chicken at 4 a.m. type shit. But he ain't doing that shit, because he probably in the bed, with his head between your legs type stuff. So like, he ain't got time for that. So basically, like, she's scared of losing her second husband, what I call it, basically. So like, now it's like a tug of war type shit, and like, at some point, how women are catty. So it's just gonna turn into a hot mess, pretty much. But and then she doesn't trust you. She might think you're a gold digger, or you're out to, like, what I'm saying, like, scam her son, take his money, or trap him with a baby. You know how they be with that bullshit. But like, no, she doesn't know or trust that you're actually the one for him. So basically, you're guilty until proven innocent. It's not the other way around. So basically, all eyes on you until you can show and prove. And even when you do show and prove, sometimes they still don't believe it. Like, so, like I said before, like, this could be draining to say the least. So you're sitting trying to prove yourself. You're being nice. You bringing her, fresh baked cookies, trying to win her over, and you're doing all this extra nonsense to try to, you know what I'm saying, get her to accept you. And there's a possibility that she may not. So this could all be a whole waste of motherfucking oxygen. But like I said, she's scared. He won't be available for her when she needs him because especially if her husband is dead, or maybe she ain't got a man. Period. Then that's even worse. Like, that's like, no, the camera didn't freeze. Them the worst ones where the dad is no longer in the house, and it's just she's like on her own for whatever reason it may be. Maybe it's by choice, maybe by not. But if he's the man of the household, then she's not gonna appreciate the fact that he's never there anymore. So she's gonna be feeling some type of way, and she's gonna assume she can still, like I said, call him at 4 a.m. to go get her a slushy at the 7-Eleven, and that ain't how that ain't how that work. Because if you got a whole other family over here, like, can't nobody be doing all that. Like, there's too much going on. So and then it's kind of like a attachment issue as well. She's scared that he's gonna start loving you more than her, and especially when he stopped doing things, she's gonna automatically think that hold up, this is a somebody actually painted their van like the Scooby Doo mystery machine. I would turn the camera. Actually, I might do it. Hold on, let me see. Y'all probably not already seen some shit like this, but hold up, my thing I got my phone set up on is kind of ratchet. Hold on for a second. How do you even? Give me a second. Camera acting weird and shit. But anyway, point is, let me put this shit back. But yeah, it looks exactly like the Scooby Doo mystery machine and whatnot. But the point is, let me take this down too because it's like all in my way and stuff. Well, yeah, that's kind of neat. The van looks pretty old. Like one of them, them white vans that motherfuckers be kidnapping kids in type shit. So yeah. Anyway, it might be one because it got like a little Scooby Doo cartoon and shit on it. It might be like a little way to lure kids in. I don't know. No, your camera didn't freeze. Anyway, back to the topic. But the point is that the mom might decide that he done abandoned her, and now he's all up in your face, and then it just at that point she's definitely gonna get angry, and then everything's gonna pretty much be your fault. Like, and don't matter how many, like I said, fresh baked cookies you bring over. Don't matter how many times you do her nappy head for free. It don't matter, how many times you come over or invite her to family functions. Like, once she feels like she's losing her son, like, it's just like ain't no coming back from that for real. But and then let's not mention she might try to sabotage. If she really hates you or if she really really wants you gone, like, she gonna start throwing monkey wrenches in the damn cake mix. She might start throwing hints about him possibly cheating, or she could start bringing up, all his older girlfriends. Oh, I like that one girl you used to date. She'll start like putting pictures on the wall of exes and shit like that he used. She'll start throwing a whole bunch of shade and trying to get you to leave him type stuff or whatnot. She might set you up, or like, she gonna do it, sneakily. She's not gonna like come out and say it most of the time. So like, if she really wants you gone, she, like I said, she knows her son better than anybody, so she can pretty much pull it off if she really wanted to. I'm pretty sure you guys seen those movies and stuff to where the mom don't like whatever, and then she started doing fuck shit and whatnot. But anyway, or she could be just plain jealous of you. She could be an old hag, and you walk in looking like Megan Thee Stallion's sister type shit. And then, like, I don't motherfucking know. But if the mama don't like you, good luck. I mean, that's the best I can tell you. Because, like, unless he's a really strong-willed individual, unless he's headstrong and he's really about that family life, and he's really about, he really love you to the point to where, it don't matter what she say, then at that point you good. But if you on shaky ground and you're not sure type stuff, then like you might be fighting a losing battle. And then, depending on the length and the strength, of the relationship, you might get dumped. Because like if you start going back and forth with, excuse me, my allergies, start going back and forth with the mom, if y'all start arguing and fighting, and if you can't really come over her house, and y'all can't really come together during holidays and family functions and things like that, if it starts to become like a really big like burden, like I said, depending on the length and the strength of the relationship, you might be the one finish her. Like you might be the one to like get the boot, pretty much. Like, he might, after a while, he started thinking like, this too much. Like, this is just a headache, and it might be best for me to just leave her alone. Because you can't drop his mom. Well, I mean, you can, but nobody's really gonna turn their back on their mom, because that's family, and that's that's the same person that fed you and shit like that. But like, you're more of a disposable, entity versus the mom, because the mom ain't going nowhere for the most part. So like I said, unless you got a strong-willed individual that knows how to put her in her place whenever she starts disrespecting you. But if you got a mama's boy, and mama gonna take, not mama, the man gonna take the mama's side, because he's pretty much been trained to do so. So like, I would be prepared for that as well. So the mama don't like you. If you're not already married, I wouldn't even get married, like, because you're just gonna drag that shit all the way over until the rest of your life. And if he's not strong enough to, like I said, set some boundaries and check her ass whenever she doing stuff she ain't got no business, then this relationship is just doomed to fail for the most part. So it's hard to win over somebody who's already made up their mind. So if the mom done already made up her mind that she doesn't want to let him go, she don't trust you, she wants him to be at her beck and call, she just wants it to be her and him, the duo dynamic. She don't really want to share attention and resources and whatever else with you. Then at that point, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're pretty much cooked, and like, you can fight it if you want to, but like I said, depending on what type of man you're dealing with, like, I don't really see the point for real. But yeah, them stepmom, not stepmom. Why the fuck did I say that? Them mother-in-laws and mamas, and like I said, even grandmas. You know what I'm saying? The mama could like you, but then he bring you over to grandma's house, and then like, she got the stank face too, because she's older actually, so she's gonna need him way more than the younger mom or whatever. So she's probably used to him coming over and doing this and this and that, and then now he's with you, and now he's not spending so much time over there anymore, and she might actually be on that fuck shit too. So like, I don't know. My suggestion is like, if this man is not, don't have a brain of his own, and he letting the women in his, sometimes it can be his sister too. It's just women in general, the women that mean the most to him and his family, that whatever title that may be. But if he doesn't have a strong enough mind to protect you and make sure nobody's disrespecting you, then this is doomed from the get-go. But y'all can do what you want to do, but I'm just trying to save you some time. That's why the channel is called Save Time with Tori. I save you time from the bullshit, because like I said, a lot of things I talk about is tried and true, and I'm not saying I went through everything that I talk about, but quite a bit. So, or if I've seen it firsthand with people around me, or statistics, or like, just the shit is true. Like, I ain't on here spitting nothing but the truth. But anyway, this is Save Time with Tori, and I do what? I save you time from the bullshit. Okay, bye.